I was talking to someone today about amusement parks, and they're and she's saying, I really really enjoy the atmosphere, because she's like, I wish I would enjoy amusement parks a lot more. And I was like, well, why don't you? And she's like, well, I love the atmosphere. The atmosphere is fantastic, and the rides look like they're a whole lot of fun. But she's like, I hate that pit and like that knot in the pit of your stomach feeling. I'm like, oh, I absolutely love that. And she's like, honestly, for me, it feels so much like an anxiety attack. And she's someone who suffers from anxiety attacks. And she's like, it's far, like that whole high and the low and the drop. She could just, and I was like, wow, I actually it never occurred to me that especially for someone who maybe suffers from mood disorders, who has anxiety issues. Like I was like, oh, hey, that's an interesting perspective that I never thought to appreciate before, but. It really does feel like an anxiety attack. These roller coaster rides. I suffer from them myself, and that's legit what it feels like. I strangely and perhaps sickly enjoy the feeling when it's on my own volition. Like I'm willingly.
You're still somewhat in control.
Yes, exactly.
You chose to go on the ride.
Exactly. I'm willingly going on the ride. I know what's going to happen. So
you're expecting it.
Like I can do roller coasters, but if they go upside down, I'm done.
I
love
that.
They go upside down or around in a circle. Nope. Like I can.
So he's not doing the Hulk anytime soon.
No,
Hulk was pretty intense.
No, if it spins upside down, no, I can't. I can't do that.
Dueling Dragons. That's
if
where
it's
I
a
lost
massive drop, it's like a 60 to 90% drop down, and you're dropping for 30 seconds.
The degrees?
That just terrifies me. But any other kiddie roller coaster, I'm on.
Well, and I mean, Ray's roller coaster advice, I don't know if I've said it on the podcast before, but I know I've said it to a lot of people, is, I don't know about the mental side of things, but for generally speaking, physiologically speaking, if you're going on a roller coaster, especially if it's one that you haven't done before or you have anxiety about, the thing that people do unconsciously is they hold their breath. Or they scream. But either way, it has a similar reaction in the stomach.
Respirating.
It causes your stomach to tighten. And so you keep this tightness in your stomach the whole ride. And then you get off the ride and you're like, oh, wow, I made it. I'm okay. I'm on terra firma. Maybe you kiss the ground. And then it relaxes, and that's when things start moving. So if you're worried about throwing up because of a ride, and I mean, I've felt that pressure. Yeah, I've never done it. But I get where it comes from. I feel it. And so my idea is every time I feel myself going over sort of a drop or coming up, I force myself at that moment to breathe. It's like a reminder. It's like either going down or going up. Force yourself to breathe, and then you'll feel fine. And then you won't be distracted by this pit in your stomach, and you'll be actually able to see what's going on and maybe enjoy what you're doing a little bit better. So that's just my personal roller coaster tip.
I also find if you're unfamiliar with the ride, to sit in the middle if you can.
Yes.
That way you can kind of enjoy the ride, but you're not seeing the drop from first-hand perspective, because you're just kind of being pulled into it. And you're not being whipped around like you are on the back, which I prefer the back because you get whipped around like crazy. Though you gotta be careful when you do that though, because there was this one time when I did that the roller coaster here in Vancouver, and I whipped around in the back. We went with Webb. We went to Playland, and I think you were there. That one time we forced Rena to go on the roller coaster ride, the very first time ever. And she jumped up and you don't remember that? Oh my god! I have to remind you that story because you were definitely there for that.
I was there.
Oh, you were there, very much there for that. We all forced Rena to go on the roller coaster, and we blocked her and stuff like that, so she couldn't read the signs and stuff like that. And she finally went on the ride. It was her first time ever. She was 17, 18 years old. And she gets off the ride. She's like, oh my god, I survived. And then a balloon popped right 10 feet from her. And she's like, what was that? And she jumped 10 feet in the air. It was fantastic.
I don't remember that. Oh my god, why don't I remember that?
It was such I'm 99% positive you were there. You were one of the ringleaders of this whole making her go. And
I don't remember that.
Oh, dude, it was it was 15 years ago though.
Oh well, okay. I don't remember what I did yesterday, more or less. Yeah.
But no, years ago. That same day though, we'd gone up on the roller coaster again, and I went with Kevin, and we were at the very, very, very back, and we both decided we were gonna go with eyes closed and hands up in the air the entire time. And so that's great and it's fun because you can't see and anticipate the drops. I mean, if you know the ride enough times, you can kind of figure out what's going on. But I was on the inside of the track, and there's this turn where we were whipping around. I guess we were whipping to the left, and so Kevin kind of slammed into me, right? And I slammed into the side and actually cracked my bottom 3 ribs. Because I was like, oh, that hurt, and then just kind of went off and went on about my business. And it was 2-3 weeks later that I actually had to go to the hospital and get X-rays and found out, the bottom 3 ribs had cracked. There's nothing you can do about it. But so like to this day, I still get like every now and then I get pains.
Is it still? It's not still cracked. Obviously, it's healed now.
Well, yeah, it's healed, but it's like because it's a rib fracture. There's only so much. Like there's a minor crack. It's like a hairline crack. I mean, they can't repair it or anything like that, right? Yeah. And so it's just kind of you just have to deal with it. And they said rib fractures, that pain never really ever goes away. And so every now and then you get flare-ups. Like, you know how people
a little
like
bit like my Vatican tooth.
Yeah, or like people, you know, they have knee injuries and it's like raining and it's like, oh, my bad knee is acting up. And so it's like my bad rib is acting up. And so definitely, I don't recommend doing both. Either one is great, and don't do both simultaneously, apparently.
I think often on amusement park rides, the most dangerous thing is the other people. Yeah. I mean, assuming the ride operator knows what they're doing. A distracted ride operator is probably more dangerous. But
that can be lethal.
Yeah, generally speaking, like, you know, when you're going on rides, a lot of the rides are weight tested every day to make sure that they're making their timing metrics correctly, and they'll put sandbags in there. So the idea that you need to do something proactively to keep yourself alive. The sandbag can't do that.
Yeah.
And the sandbags don't fall off, and they do this kind of testing every day. Now, I can't say for every ride that that's the case, but that's the case for a lot of rides. And so sometimes managing your anxiety is reminding yourself of facts like that. I find is sometimes helpful. Another
thing is if you're on a roller coaster, don't sit behind a drooler. somebody who screams and drools at the exact same time. Yeah.
I've never
and if you do... Bring a towel.
Oh, have you experienced that? Is that a thing?
Yes.
Oh my god.
It is horrible.
Yes.
Yeah, being splattered with somebody else's drool.
But, see, I mean,
but the best way to get back at them, best way to get back at them, have a couple bolts in your hand. And just when we come to a stop, show them, by the way, these fell off your seat.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
As you're wiping away.
That was a joke.
Don't do that.
It was a joke. Yeah. No, don't actually do that. Don't actually do that. But yeah, I have sat behind a drooler.
Wow.
And it's not fun. When they're screaming and drooling at the same time, not fun.
No, I mean, having been vomited on rides, I can... But the drooling, that seems...
I haven't been vomited on, no. I was actually in Paris, France. Disneyland Paris, which is... I highly recommend it. Go to Disney. If you love Disneyland, go to Paris. Go there. It's great.
Is it very busy?
It's very busy.
Really?
Very busy.
We've all heard the stories when it first launched. Euro Disney was empty and stuff.
No.
And I don't think I ever fully purged that image from my mind of an empty Disneyland.
It is not empty. No. So I went on to this ride called Hotel something.
Okay.
And I didn't realize it was a ride that shoots you up and then drops you down. Because I've been in an elevator twice and I've
Hotel
been
Hell would be a scary ride?
Well, I thought it was
a haunted house.
I actually thought it was a tour going up. So we go for this tour around this hotel, and then we go into this room, and it looked like a theater.
Oh, yeah.
Multiple seats, and I'm sitting there looking around, going, okay, we can't go up because there's a roof there.
But a elevator, perhaps.
Yeah.
Or a drop of doom for Americans.
Drop of doom. Maybe that was it. I don't know. Anyways. Yeah. So, and I go, okay, we're walking that way, so we can't shoot forward. And there's walls on either side. And okay, good. It's going to be a movie theater. I'm thinking, great. I'm going to sit here and just enjoy something that's going to pop up in front of me. No.
Like a ride film.
Yeah. So the doors close and we shoot backwards.
Oh, cool.
Oh, man. And then that's awesome.
And up we go.
Oh, cool.
So it shoots you back and then up like an elevator.
And it shoots us up like an elevator. And then it stops at this floor. The elevator doors open. And there's this ghost. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. The doors close and it shoots us up again. I'm like, okay. And every floor we went up, it was a different character. It was a different ghost of a hotel or, the hotel inn. The ghosts of all the old owners, I guess. Wow. And then the doors closed, and then it just drops you.
Oh, that sounds so awesome.
And if you've never tasted your stomach before, go on this ride.
That sounds so
fantastic. There was a girl in front of me who vomited immediately. I had this little pouch. I can call it a man purse if you want. I had taken it off.
Fanny pack, or was it like across the shoulder?
No, it could have been across the shoulder, but I had it around my waist. I took it off and I laid it on the floor in front of me. And as we dropped down, it went to the ceiling. So as you're looking up at your fanny pack, you're wondering, okay, this is not good. And then it would stop at a floor. The doors would open. I'm like, okay, that was nice. No more. It'd bring you back up again. For about 10 minutes. It felt like an hour. But I think it was about 10 minutes. Just up and down, dropping you down. And it would drop you down and shoot you up and then drop you down again. Yeah. Hotel Hell. Anything to do with a hotel that's large and you hear people screaming, don't go in. No.
Oh, Mike, you need to go check out the Mummy ride at Universal Studios.
I don't know.
Didn't we do that? I think we did that.
I think we did do that.
Yeah, that was the one where it was dark and it was like, your souls belong to me.
Yeah, no, that's fine. As long as we don't drop.
Yeah, there
suddenly
wasn't that much of a drop.
I'm okay with that. If it goes up
there was
and
an
down,
abrupt stop, and then there was like the the strobe light.
Strobe lights with a bunch of
and there was like
fog.
video stuff. Yeah, fog. The pretend like critters or whatever. Yeah, we did that.
Fine. As long as it just doesn't drop you and you see all your articles shooting up to the ceiling.
You have that little pouch. You had we had that little. There was that mesh pouch that you could put your stuff in on the Mummy ride. Yeah, we've done that. We've done that twice. Once with you, and then I've done that with Sam. Okay, and I'd done that previously. I've done that a couple times. Yeah. So I mean, no, that's a good ride. Yeah, I think it's very similar on both coasts because we did it in LA, and I think
you and I've done it in
Orlando because you haven't been to LA yet.
It was called the Hotel of Doom. It was.
Yeah. That sounds fantastic.
It sounds really awesome.
Yeah. No. No.